Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Please excuse the way that I look. I've been painting all day. What we're going to be talking about today is what's going on here in the States, and there's quite a lot going on, honestly. You know, you would think that here in the United States, we would be safe. We would be, comfortable. We would be living the dream. It's not always the case. So, the first thing that we're going to be talking about is this happened in New York, okay? In Brooklyn, and it seems like the most chaotic worlds have collided. Squatters rented an abandoned house. How? Don't ask, I don't know. They rented it to crossers, collecting dozens of seemingly stolen bikes and scooters. Yeah. And this stash of bikes and scooters and whatnot sparked a fire that scorched 2 homes that were nearby. And I have pictures, I'm going to throw them up for you. So, even after the blaze that took place on August 17th, the squatters refused to leave the house, and they continue to occupy the property. How? I don't know. And for the next 2 days, people were coming back again and again, even after the city boarded up the house. And they even poured cement across the first floor doors and the windows too. There were around 10 addicted people and an unknown number of crosser squatters frequenting this dilapidated 2-story house. It was a 3-bedroom duplex, which was built in 1925. So they were getting into fights with neighbors. They were yelling at the neighbors, "This is our house, this is our house." Technically, no, it's not. So the 2-alarm fire, which took 106 firefighters to take the fire out, and it injured 3 smoke eaters, was sparked by an exploding battery, okay? Flames quickly spread to homes on either side of the duplex, displacing 6 people. Now, the abandoned house has been a source of trouble for the otherwise quiet block since 2011, when its original owner, who was 81 years old, his name was Mortimer Falk, he passed away with no surviving relatives. So the Brooklyn Public Administrator is currently managing the estate and the property. Well, obviously he wasn't doing a very good job, was he? So the next thing that we're going to be talking about is Elon Musk, okay? He fired off a warning to us here, Americans, after the radical Brazilian Supreme Court, Justice Alexander de Moraes, M-O-R-A-E-S, okay? He blocked X/Twitter in Brazil. The Brazilian Supreme Court Justice claimed that he is banning X from Brazil because Elon Musk refused to name a legal representative to the country. So by Friday afternoon, X was banned in Brazil. So this Justice Alexander wrote in his decision that Elon Musk showed his total disrespect for Brazilian sovereignty and in particular for the judiciary, setting himself up as a true supranational entity and immune to the laws of each country. So the platform will stay suspended until it complies with his orders, and also set a daily fine of 50,000 reais, that's REAIS, or $8,900 our money, for people or companies using VPNs to access it. I know. So Elon, he lashed out at the Brazilian Supreme Court Justice and called him an evil dictator. You're right on the money. So then Elon warned that free speech likely won't exist if a certain woman gets into the house on Pennsylvania Avenue. And he said censorship is a certainty if the Dems win. And he would not be surprised to see X suspended in the US if they come into power again. So her and balls to the walls have repeatedly attacked free speech. And Walls famously said there is no guarantee of free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy. Well, guess what, bud? Our First Amendment and the United States Supreme Court say otherwise. You're just one guy. You have no say. Okay? So move along. So Elon said, you know, freedom of speech is under a massive attack around the world. And he's right. You know, I even got to be careful what I say every day here. God forbid I have a slip of the tongue and I say what I really, really, really want to say. Guess what happens? Okay? So the next thing and the last thing that we're going to be talking about is something that's very, very sad. Okay? And this is something that we have to watch out for our elders. Okay? And if your parents are still alive, God bless them. Okay? A 96-year-old woman is fighting back against the senior living housing project that wants to boot her out of the unit where she has been living for 22 years. Years ago, she signed a deal with Pacific Grove Senior Living in Pacific Grove, California, that she could live in this complex until she passes. Well, here comes August 16th. The complex manager delivered what Jean called a nasty letter, telling her to pay what the complex decided that they believe she owes them in 3 days or be evicted. She said, I would be on the street, I wouldn't even have a tent, I would be in a bad way. So the letter claims that she owes them $110,000. Okay, well, she's 96 years old. Okay, she probably doesn't even have any relatives left on this earth. So she's not going to be able to get a loan strictly because of her age. So where the hell do these people think that she's going to get $110,000? She said, I'm not going. They'll have to bury me because I have no place to go. They have all of my money. You see, she made a deal with California Nevada Methodist Homes, which sold the complex to Pacific Senior Living in 2022. So she made the deal, the original deal, 22 years ago with California Nevada Methodist Homes. So California Nevada Methodist Homes sold the complex 2 years ago to this Pacifica Senior Living. So it's a whole new contract, I guess you could say. So these are these new people are the ones that are stirring the pot, if you will. Okay, take a listen.
They're not going. They'll have to bury me because I've no place to go. They've got all my money.
96-year-old Jean Jacques has lived at her apartment complex for over 20 years. She's happy, healthy, and full of life. She said she was unbothered living here until a few weeks ago, when she received a 3-day eviction notice from the facility. In 2002, Jean said she signed a lifetime contract with the previous owner, California Nevada Methodist Homes, that said she could live here for the rest of her life. She paid a $250,000 down payment and was paying $5,000 a month in rent until her savings ran out.
I was shocked because the reason I moved into Forest Hill Manor was to be taken care of the rest of my life.
So these existing contracts, they were grandfathered in, but not the previous owner's policies. Those were not grandfathered in. So the president of Pacific Grove Senior Living, the Residents Association, okay, his name is Bob Sadler. He said that lifetime care contracts were unconditional under the former owner, even if they outlived the savings given to the complex. He said the facility balanced what it lost on residents who outlived their savings and what it gained from those who died before using up their savings. So the eviction notice is under scrutiny right now because the notice did not have required approvals, and it also failed to explain how it can be appealed. So Jean is safe. They can't touch her. They can keep posting eviction notices all day. They can try and get that $110,000 out of her. They're not going to see a penny of it because they frigged up. Okay? They didn't take the necessary steps because, one, she's grandfathered in. Two, they did not get the signatures. They did not get any approvals, and they did not tell her how this can be appealed. So they have to go back and they have to pay their lawyers now to try and fight this 96-year-old woman, and it's not going to work. So if your parents are still with us, God bless them, first of all, okay? But if they're living in one of these assisted senior living facilities, get them out. These places are literally, okay, they're a cash grab. That's all they are. They're a cash grab. Get them the hell out. You know what I mean? I know you're probably saying to yourself, but I don't think I could take care of my mother. I understand that. But they literally take every red cent. Oh, you thought you were in a will? Guess what? That will is now null and void. Why? Because they are living in an assisted living facility. Okay? All right, guys, I'm out of here. I will see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fearless. Ciao.